More action then from the Manor 7's here at the beautiful Eton Manor Rugby Club in northeast London. It's the OldDownBadians playing in the black tops up against the LU7's in the navy and pink. And it's the OldDownBadians who have nicked it from the kickoff. Got their team manager scribbling away at their team sheet as we speak. And it's just come over. And it's a good start for them as well as they drive into the corner. What a start it is for OldDownBadians. And I'm joined by Frank Saki as well for this one. Frank, this OldDownBadians side, they've got such a great story, along with being a bunch of really talented rugby players.
So, OldDownBadians, it used to be a group chat. It started off as a group chat of a bunch of players who found each other by being the only black person on their rugby team. We had a Twitter, I think it was a Twitter page, where we just kind of talked, shared experiences, and engaged in all things rugby, but were able to kind of put a bit of our culture into it, a bit of black culture into it, and just make things a bit more our own. And then we kind of realised over time that we could expand that out to anyone who wanted to be a part of it. We met other people and we kind of said, look, do you guys want to share this with us? We got a team together. The team's played in tournaments for the past couple of years. We're working on creating a charity, and we've got a women's trans and non-binary side. There's a lot going on for us, but yeah, we're just here to try and make a difference and give people the inspiration as we kind of progress through the rugby world.
Absolutely, Frank. Great to hear from you. And it's a bright start for OldDownBadians, who are already up on the score sheet. I think it was an opening score from Faisal Olabue. But it will be a scrum for LU7's. Just a touch of a knock-on from the kickoff of Sope Soko, the Zimbabwean, 7's and 15's international. So despite the social tournament, do not be fooled by the quality of some of these sides. And LU7's are one of those. And Luke Hayward, the top stepper, opens up the field. And now a bit of muscle through the centres, skipping through the contact. Just running out of space there. Great defence from OldDownBadians, getting high in the line. No one home if LU7's want to put the ball over the top. And instead on the turn, it's Carl Bassett, formerly of the Lambs, his first tournament for LU7's. Slow play for Bassett. OldDownBadians have LU contained for now. There's a good read, and a shot comes in from Sutherland, but they managed to free the hands, and now they could be in behind here. Away go LU down the right. Hayward puts in the handoff. Straight over the ball goes Chanda. Down the short side they go, but great defence from Soko. Well, Chowa Chanda there making the turnover number 4 was head boy when I was at school, Frank. So great to see him taken to the field. I know he plays very high standard rugby. Top player back at St Joe's College back in the school days. But Frank, as we're going through this team sheet, lots of international representation, lots of guys playing really high level of club rugby. It's not much of a social team anymore. Seems like you've really taken a step up.
The main aim of it is to bring people together in a kind of community sense. So there are guys who play club rugby every week. We did a tournament last week in Mallorca at beach rugby. And there are guys at that tournament that haven't played rugby in 10 years. So we're trying to just make sure that everyone can be involved in rugby, and there are a lot of people who play a good level but just want to enjoy their sports.
Oh, it's just popped up unkindly there in the midfield, and John Botker's gone over. And it's a good response from LU7's. Soko's pass just came out the wrong side of his hand there. And latched upon by John Botker, the South African, who levels things up for LU. It's OldDownBadians from that set piece. Just a simple error. These things happen in the game of 7's, and one mistake's often enough to open things up. But it will be a kickoff to come from LU 1 minute before half-time. Chipped towards the 10 by the captain, George Harris, formerly of London Irish, Cardiff Metro University. It's just been spilled behind the game line there by Olabue, and it's gone all the way. And it's going to be a scrum on the 5 for LU7's right before half-time. The game could be turning around here a little bit on OldDownBadians. But Frank, this long old tournament for social sides, the Lit7's, it's going to be tough to compete at all these different events all over the country, but well, a great thing to be a part of.
Yeah, absolutely. We've done it a few years in a row. We had our sister side Black Girls Rock earlier, and this is the only team we've lost to, so this is the game that really matters for us.
And right before the break, it's a very simple score for George Harris, the skipper, whose father, Dan, is the coach of the side as well. I was wondering how he got hold of the armband. But no, he played last season as well in the Lit7's season, and well, he's got LU7's further out and in front as well, right before the break. Harris adds the extras.
Hey everyone, hope you're having a
and
great
we will have one last play before half-time.
For your teams, we've got a medical tent in the middle
Carl
of
Bassett
all
will
of the
kick us
pitches,
off.
as well as a physio tent. So D3 is there taking care of you
OldDownBadians.
Taping is free. Just bring over your own
Look
tape,
to
and they can do
maybe
some
get
other
one more on the
things
board
as
before the
well,
break. It's
for
another
some
teasing
reasonable
kick.
prices.
Tough
The
work
other
for
thing I'm happy to
Socko, who
report
just
is the
bounces
ice
up
staff
into the
are
path
ready
of
to go.
LU7's
If
again.
anyone
Here's
would
James
like
Keir.
to have a go, they're absolutely
Bassett with a
free.
change
They'll
of
be
pace and a
available
change of
all day.
direction as
The
well.
one on the
Chips
left
it in
is a
behind.
little bit,
Bassett could be away.
Back
Back comes Olabouye, who takes it well, but a penalty advantage was coming.
But yeah, for anybody that needs anything
So
from
one
the
last
medical
chance
side,
before the
please
break
make
for
sure
LU7's
head
to
over
further
there.
extend their
If you
lead.
don't have
Harris
no
with the
physio,
tap.
we've got you covered.
Here's James Keir, who goes direct, but is met comfortably on the gain line. How on earth did he get that one away? Little out the back door offload to keep the attack going. Keir, penalty LU7's. Quick tap off the mark from Keir, but he's getting through his yards, is the number 12. Instead, here's George Harris. Got Keir to his left. The big bustling Jack Rawcliffe, the vice-captain, as well outside him. I fancy Keir to go, it's him to go himself here, of course, and Harris does go himself. Steps inside and out. Gets away from OldDownBadians. And right before the break, they've got another score. There's not much between the two sides, Frank. It's just LU7's having a little bit more time with the ball in hand.
Yeah, the one thing that we identified last year is the different styles of rugby that you can see on the show here today. We've got the one-up rugby, offload out the tackle that OldDownBadians like to play, and LU7's very much traditional schoolboy, play the ball back, keep possession, and then make a break. So it's a lot to contend with our style of rugby, but it's a challenge that I'm hoping the boys are able to stand up to.
Well, OldDownBadians may already be through to the latter stages of the social competition if LU7's can beat the Onga Knights later. But they'd rather not hang on for results elsewhere. We'll see if they can turn it round here against LU7's in the second half of our first game in the social category of the men's competition here at the Manor 7's, the first leg of the Lit Super 7's. Well, second half to come here. OldDownBadians with a wonderful take off the kickoff, but then put under a little bit of pressure by LU, who towards the latter stages of that first half really stretched out an advantage, and they've won it back. And the early try scorer Botka has picked out Keir. More destructive running from him. Botka with a man outside, fades in himself. Job Botka gets his second. And it's a bright start to the second half for LU7's. But Frank Zaki from OldDownBadians is still alongside me. Well, we spoke a little bit about their style of play in the first half. They're sort of schoolboy-esque. And, well, they're just a little bit quick around the park at the moment, as you expect from a really young side.
Yeah, we've got some big boys some very big boys. You've got boys that play prop for their clubs at home, second rows for their clubs at home. But they're good for their position. But yeah, against a lot younger boys, they're going to come up a little cropper. We've got to make sure that our skills are what carries us through, really. And we do that by retaining possession. So hopefully we're able to retain a bit more possession. Players like Shower, who's on the ball now, really strong assets.
Knocked on, the first one coming from LU7, so it will be a set piece for OldDownBadians. Can I ask who thought of the name, Frank? Because it's the funniest one here at the Manor 7's by some way.
It's kind of satirical. It was the name of the group chat that brought us all together. We were kind of like taking the mick out of the people that you'd see in a rugby club with the stripy club blazers. They've got the jeans, they've got the brown shoes. And they'd always have little comments like, oh, this guy looks fast and stuff like that. So we kind of wanted to have a little play on that. Old boys rugby names like OldDownBadians, OldDownBadians. Well, we thought OldDownBadians because these boys are down bad. And yeah, the name stuck and we've been that ever since.
I'll let any of our more senior viewers Google exactly what that means. For now, though, OldDownBadians on the ball and looking to make an impact in this second half. It's just been knocked backwards at the first time of asking by Olabue. Good read, and a big shot comes in. Nice tackling from Tom Rendell, another vice-captain. Lifted over the top, what a ball that is. And now Finn Sutherland looks to get away. Flicks it off the deck, great offload from Sutherland. Racing down the left goes Pierre Yeboah. All the way back for Sutherland, who shrugs off his man. What a carry that is. Now the hands will come. It's Musa who gets the ball away. Little show and go from Spence. Spence over the 22. Stolen at the breakdown, but knocked on. Nice flowing rugby from OldDownBadians, Frank.
Yeah, like this phase of play just shows exactly what we can do for a bunch of boys. That it's usually, because it's such a big community, it's never the same team twice. So we always spend the first couple of games coming together, gelling together, and seeing what each other are made of. Players like NextGen, who's in number 9. I used to play university rugby with him. He spent however many years since 2014 not playing at all. So for him to be back here is amazing to see. There are lots of other players that don't play regularly, so this is them warming up. Who knows what they can do?
It's the man at hooker for OldDownBadians. He was wearing number 99 from here.
Yes, Abdul Musa. Yeah.
Abdul Musa, what a man. And it's a nice carry there from Olabue, who's already away from 2, eventually brought down commandingly there by Rendell. Penalty, offside is the call. Furio Dawkins caught offside, the Jamaican under 20. Nice little step there towards the line from Yeboah, who's over. In the end, I think it's given as a score for Pierre Yeboah, as there's a player down, unfortunately, for OldDownBadians, but they are on the board in the second half. Yeboah crosses over, and it's a nicely worked try. They're very patient with it there, Frank, and deserve that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing that we said at the start of the game was that we needed to start ball retention was going to be the biggest thing that wins us the game. So if we can string a few phases together and we can move the defence, then we can create some holes, and we just showed that we can do that, and what a good job we can do about it. So if we can do some more of that, who knows, the comeback might be on.
So unfortunately, Faisal Olabue will leave the field, but plenty of players on the bench for this OldDownBadians side, who may be staring down the barrel of their first defeat of the competition. Deep kickoff from Yeboah, which clears anyone in purple and pink. It's just going to roll dead, unfortunately, there. So it'll be a free kick on halfway for LU7's. Well, they're expanding all the time, this LU7 setup. They're a really impressive young team. And, well, they've got plenty more to offer as the tournament goes on. But, as we said already, you just need LU to do you a favour against the Onga Knights, and you will be through to the knockout phases, Frank, which would be good to see. It's a pretty nonchalant kickoff from Harris. And Ollie Brown takes it on into contact on the 10. What a tackle that is in response. LU7's backpedaling. Penalty, unfortunately, there. Just a little bit too enthusiastic from Teray Grant. And here's Brown. Little hitch kick from Dawkins, who gets the fend. He goes on the inside. Wonderful covering tackle from Yeboah. Now they've got a man over. It's Theo Lowe. Lowe takes on 3 defenders and is denied. LU7's inches out. Dawkins goes direct. Again crashes short. Finally this time they must be over. Rawcliffe spilt. What defence. Rawcliffe denied, the former Ealing trail finder from close range. Unbelievable scramble defence from the OldDownBadians. Frank, you've got to be pleased with defending like that.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's one thing that we're good at, it's when the team splits up into some individual efforts, and individually those boys have really, really worked hard just to get that ball back and just to make sure that they slowed down the pace of it, and that's exactly what we want to do.
And now a scrum deep in the red zone for OldDownBadians. How we wouldn't love to see them go coast to coast here. Here comes the scrum. The captain, George Harris, for LU7's, looking to disrupt here. And he does put the pressure on, but it's a nice offload. Another one through contact. Good read in defence from LU7's, who are swarming the OldDownBadians here. But that's a nice little run to get them almost up to the 22. Oh, it's just gone loose there, and Ollie Brown has fallen onto it, and he finds a pass, and now Hayward's round the corner, and he's going to dart into the corner himself. Turns to give a little bit back to the OldDownBadians as well, Luke Hayward. Had a great series last year in the Lit7's, and now they've taken the step up to the 7's Super Series. But they're on track to top this group, LU7's, with just the Ongar Knights to come, who are a force on the social circuit. But for OldDownBadians, first defeat of the day should be enough to see them through to the latter stage of the competition. Final whistle then, a win for LU7's. Close second half as Dawkins turns to give a bit to the camera as well. Good to know that they know it's here. We like to see that, Frank, in this tournament. Social, elite, women's, doesn't matter. We want the players to have a little bit about them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with our team at ODB, it's all about a bit of flair. So a bit of going one-on-one and taking it yourself, a little bit of wearing our kits, wearing our hats, wearing our everything, just so that people know we're here. And I have to say, we might not have won this game, but the boys showed flair, the boys showed class, the boys showed style, and so I'll call that a win. On to the next round.
Frank, it's been great to speak to you. Thank you very much for being with us. We'll be back very shortly for another game live here from the Manor 7's, the first stop on the Lit Super 7 series.